Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today we are taking a look at the next size up in Hydran starship design, the Baron class starship.
Introduced early in the 2230s during the Great Exile. Of course, age really doesn't mean anything for the Hydrans, as they just strip out old stuff and put in new stuff. So we're treating this more as a 2270s starship.
Yeah, we're saying, this thing is, I've put the service date as 2235, parentheses, refit 2270. And we will use 2270 as the initial year for the purpose of statting it out.
As you can tell, the Baron has some influences. As I've had to point out to certain people, no culture ever survives first contact with another. To believe the opposite is utter stupidity.
Right.
And the Baron is the ultimate example of this. It is clearly a Hydran design.
But it is also very clearly inspired.
Or directly derived from
the Klingon D7. Or at least Klingon starship design. The D7 was launched in the 2240s, I think.
Indeed she was. STD can go to hell. It's never been confirmed, that's an alternate timeline now.
Yeah.
Regardless, the Baron was directly derived from early D7 models. Well, at least the D6.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the Hydrans also captured a number of D7s, which were later designated D7H. Gee, I wonder what the H means.
H probably means Hydran, and we will get to those eventually.
Yes, we will. Regardless, the Baron basically took everything that was good about the D7 and that general lineage and applied it to Hydran starship design. After all, as much as anyone hates to admit it, it works.
Yep.
And it works so well that even today, even in the 25th century, there are still D7-derived starships.
Of course. That space frame that space frame platform just will not die.
Inability to die regardless. The Baron is closer to the standard capital ship that everyone knows and is familiar with. She only has one fusion beam cannon, she has 2 Hellborn launchers, and 4 Gatling phaser beam banks.
Okay.
Standard fare for any heavy cruiser-class vessel.
Yeah.
However, as with all Hydran vessels, her primary battery, as always,
is her fighter wing.
In this case, Halberdier fusion beam fighters.
Oh, nice.
Possibly to make out for the fact that it doesn't have a lot of fusion cannons.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's general Hydran rule, isn't it?
Yeah. Focus more on the carrier aspect than the shipboard weapons. Swarm tactics!
Well, that and make up for the weaknesses. If it doesn't have Hellbores, give it Hellbore fighters. If they have fusion cannons?
Fusion cannons? Give it fusion fighters.
Does the magic
And probably some of the bigger starships will have both. Well, we'll go with the approach. ¿Por qué no los dos?
More like shreds.
Right.
The point
Our
remains.
forces at this location
Yeah.
are colonies of the sea.
So,
The ship serves quite well in the role, and serves in the same general role as the Constitution class. And the D7 and, well... all
any
that.
other equivalent starship.
Shot!
In fact, I'm pretty sure a few of these things are still around in the 20th century, serving the Cetaceans.
Right.
However, they are still, without significant refits, they are functionally and totally obsolete.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. So, let's get to static this thing. We've already figured out a basic initial stat spread of comms 9, computer 7, engines 8, sensors 8, structure 8, weapons 7. Probably leave the comms at least at 9, but we can adjust this further depending. It's a scale 4 starship. We have 47 points. This is the initial spread of those 47 points.
This is probably going to be a little closer to the Constitution due to its general role as a, well, heavy cruiser.
Right. Well, let's look up the stats of the Let's look up the baseline stats of the Connie.
The Constitution 1. We are going to have to do the Constitution 2.
Yup. So, the baseline Connie 1 is comm 7, computer 7, engines 8, sensors 8, structure 7, weapons 7.
A decent, if somewhat limited, layout.
Yeah.
You need
And it had command 1, security 1, science 1. So, a decent spread in departments as well. So, let's see.
location.
Basically, we're doing the same. This is sort of the same thing, except we have 2 more points in comms and 1 point in and an extra point in structure. I think if we're going to by this thing being a Connie equivalent, I think that worked.
Holy crap.
All
Is
right.
it any wonder that people started focusing on weapons technology after the 23rd century to deal with those threats and make them
Yeah.
obsolescent?
Yeah. So let's see.
Not obsolete because
Yeah.
even older stuff can be useful.
Yeah. We can do.
Excelsior.
Yeah. Let's go for a somewhat balanced approach with this thing, just like the Connie. Instead of +1 security, we'll do +1 engineering, so it can maintain itself and its fighter wing better. And
Your lordship.
+1 science.
Everything.
Indeed.
Alright. So, this thing can be something of a multi-role starship. It is still primarily a vessel meant to get fighters into battle, but it is capable of doing other tasks. So, for space frame talents, extensive shuttle bays.
She is a tad bit rugged, I mean... Sure,
Yeah.
she looks a little different.
Yeah, rugged design works, just like the Paladin.
And the D7 she's based off of.
Yep. Extensive shell base, rugged design. I think that's probably good. And for weapons, as we've said, phaser banks, fusion cannon, hellbore.
Honor is everything.
And we have special rules for the fusion cannon and the hellbore, as well as the Gatling phaser option, using a minor action to set the phasers to Gatling mode and double the stress rating. So that was just for like the Yamato originally. Dude, part of me is wondering if the Hydrans would basically have their phasers on Gatling mode all the time.
In Star Trek Starfleet Command and Star Trek Starfleet Command 2, they do have a lot of Gatling phasers on their boats.
Okay, do they have any non-Gatling phasers, or can I just say...
They do have non-Gatling weapons, but then again, so do literally every other power.
Right.
For reasons that drive me completely insane, they chose to make every power have phasers when the general rule is, if you use phasers, you don't use disruptors. And if you use disruptors, you're sure as hell not using phasers.
Yeah. So we'll stick with the minor action thing. But yeah, we have rules for the fusion cannon and rules for the hellbore under special rules. And of course it has a strength 3 tractor beam and descriptor trait Hydran starship. That is probably good.
Indeed
That
it
is
as is
that
the
is-
ship. Because she works. Sure, she looks like a unholy hybrid of a Covenant starship and
the D7. But
That's a double.
she works. And perhaps a little too well. Because
yeah.
she's still viable, even in the 25th century.
Yeah, even in the 25th century when all of her technology is rather obsolescent. Well, again, that goes to show you how well it works, especially when fighters are starting to come back in vogue.
So perhaps we'll see the STO. And I mean the hybrids, not fighters.
Yeah, we already see fighters in STO, and they need a fix. But yeah, it would be interesting to see the Hydrans make a comeback into STO.
I would certainly love to play in more official.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've never really played the period, so I wouldn't mind giving them a try. In proper STO, in proper modern playability options, not old games that will crash at the drop of a hat if you do something wrong.
Hopefully Cryptic does just that.
Yeah.
After
Hopefully
all, as of
Yeah.
the time of this recording, they do have a new old boat in production.
Yes. We do not know what that new old boat is. At least I don't think we do. Not yet.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
And I damn well hope it's not the Incursion class.
Yeah. But yeah, they have basically been given blanket permission to do any ship they want as long as they make their own models. So, Mr. Morone, if you're not working on Hydran starship designs yet for STO yet, please, for the love of all that is holy, get on that!
Bye-bye.